What's up guys, it's Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks, and in today's video we're going to be kicking algae's butt. So I'm going to be showing you guys 5 great tools for removing all algae from your planted aquariums, mainly off of your hardscape. The first one we're going with is your plain old plastic card. This is great for cleaning algae off your glass. So you can see all the algae on the glass, and you just kind of use the edge of this and it scrapes most of it right off. This is super cheap, sorry about the shakiness, and something pretty much everyone has, and you can just go find it somewhere, and this will do a really good job of getting all the algae off of your glass. The next tool I have is this little brush. It's a nylon brush. You can also use a toothbrush. They're pretty much the same thing, but this is really good for cleaning your silicone. So if you have like a rimless tank or near the silicone, it'll really get rid of any algae. It just takes a bit more scrubbing, so that's why it's not as good for, say, if you're cleaning the whole glass, but that is the number 2 tool for cleaning your aquarium. This next tool is super good for cleaning off those harder to reach algae, unlike this one, but I'm just going to throw it in and show it on this kind of algae for this video, and that is a razor blade. So this little handle thing I got, you can see it here. I think it was about $3 at Canadian Tire, which is the Canadian version of Home Depot pretty much, even though we have Home Depot here too. Here's some harder algae on the side of the glass, and you can see that this just kind of scrapes it all off. I'm gonna have to do a big water change after this. Yeah, but it scrapes it right off. This is really good for getting off your harder to get algae like green spot and that kind of stuff, and that is the razor blade. This next one is the only one that's worth a little bit of money. This one's about $4 for 2, but this is the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. There is no added cleaners in this, and it just works really well for bigger tanks for cleaning off algae. I noticed it works for both the soft algae as well as the harder algae, but with the harder algae you just kind of have to push a little harder and go over them a few more times. Like this stuff is now being a bit more difficult. So it is a bit more harder to get most algae off with this, but it is a lot bigger, so you're gonna clean up your tank a lot quicker than if you were to do, say, a whole 55 with a razor blade. That would take forever. But anyways, that's my number 4, the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. As you can see, it's pretty much cleaned off my whole glass. So let's get into the next tool. As you can see, my tank is a little cloudy. I've been testing this tool out, and it absolutely destroys algae. This tool is a stainless steel toothbrush. I got one of these for, I think, $4, but it came with a couple other things. But this stuff works great for cleaning that green algae off of your rocks, as well as any blackbeard algae you have. So first off, I'm going to make this rock brown again. So basically, it takes a bit of scrubbing, but it really just rips up all the algae, and it's kind of like sandpaper. It just kind of takes a layer off of everything and makes it brand new pretty much. But as you can see, that's pretty much white or brown, the original color it was. I'm sorry it's so cloudy and it's hard to see, but that's just what it does. But it works. If you're willing to have a cloudy tank for a while, you can have nice clean rocks again. And this stuff also works really well for blackbeard algae, but I'm just going to clean up this rock a bit and then show you guys when I'm done. So the tank's a little cloudy, but right now you can see the blackbeard algae on this piece of wood, and I'm just going to kind of hold it in place and rip it off. And as you can see, most of it's coming off, and now I've got little chunks of blackbeard algae in my water. I recommend doing a water change after you do this stuff. It would come off a lot easier, but I can't push too hard because this is a pretty flimsy piece of driftwood. But I kind of have to hold it with one hand and do this with the other. But there. The wood is just like new. So I'm probably going to clean up this whole piece of driftwood, do a water change, and then show you guys the results. So here's the tank, freshly after a water change. Water is still cloudy, but that's usually what happens when I do water changes. Lots of particles and stuff floating around. But as you can see, the dragonstone is super white now. There is some brown hues and stuff, but there is no green, left on there. I scraped that all off with the steel wire brush, and it worked great. I personally don't like the look of this after doing it, but it's for the video. But I do really like how the wood turns. So you can see the wood. There's almost no blackbeard algae in sight, except for the spots where I couldn't get it off. But it worked super well in removing all the blackbeard algae off my driftwood. As you can see, everywhere, almost none left. And I'm super happy with how this turned out. So to recap the 5 things, number 1, the plain old credit card or just plastic card. Everyone has it. Works super good for getting off all kinds of algae, but it's a little small. Number 2, the razor blade. This one's really good for those harder to get algae like green spot, which will take a little more work with your credit card, and it works really well for the green algae, green dust, green spot, all that stuff. Number 3 is the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. It works really good for a larger tank with more space on the glass. It works well for all algae, I learned after doing this tank. And it's a lot bigger, and I think that's the best one of the ones for cleaning the glass. Number 4 is your toothbrush. It's really good for cleaning up your silicone or places that are hard to reach. And finally, the steel wire brush, great for getting rid of blackbeard algae, that super hard green algae to get off of your rocks. And all around, probably my favorite of these items used to clean your teeth. But anyways, those were 5 items you can use to kick algae's butt in your Planet Aquarium. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was Kalen's Fish Tanks. If you guys want to learn more about planted tanks, killing algae, growing plants, all of that stuff, you may want to consider subscribing. But anyways, I'll see you guys next Monday. Peace.